Here you can find all of the teacher books, student books, exercises and resources. This area has been improved. Videos and homework worksheets are easier to find and use for students and teachers. Teachers can now allocate the 400 plus videos directly to students and share via Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. Activities have been linked to the lessons in the course and labelled with steps to show level of demand. Pearson's Key Stage 3 and GCSE resources have a unique unit structure. A series of master lessons teach the fundamental knowledge and skills. After master lessons, students take a quick informal check-up test to check how they're doing and decide which topics they need to strengthen or extend. The strengthen lessons are designed to give students extra practice and support for areas where they are less confident. Students who feel confident with the topics move on to extend, which gives them an opportunity to apply and develop the maths they learnt in the unit in different situations. The unit ends with the unit test, which gives students another, this time slightly more formal, opportunity to check their progress. For this edition of GCSE, we have also added a test-ready section in the run-up to the unit test. The idea of this section is to encourage students to learn and revise independently and develop an awareness of good exam technique. To help your GCSE students master maths with confidence, differentiation is embedded within the structure of each unit in the student books. This enables students to personalise their learning and get the right level of support to strengthen their understanding and progress. As well as keeping the familiar unit structure, we have also kept changes to the overall sequencing of the books to an absolute minimum compared to the 2015 edition. All units are in the same order and there is an almost one-to-one match between lessons, so you won't need to change your overall scheme of work. Let's take a look in more detail at the features of the course. This is a master lesson. Master lessons teach the fundamental knowledge and skills. The first lesson of each unit contains a link to a prior knowledge check. For people with a digital version of the book, they can click on the hotspot on the page. People with only the printed version can still access the content through the QR codes in the contents list. The prior knowledge check runs students through all the relevant prerequisite content to make sure they are ready to start the unit. This is great for diagnosing gaps in knowledge. This is one of the new features of the second edition. These hotspots link to the prior knowledge quiz and prior knowledge worksheet for students who need extra practice. Each lesson starts with a list of objectives and links to relevant homework content. There are 254 brand new, editable and printable homework worksheets linked to each master lesson. The homework worksheets check understanding and provide skills practice of what's been taught in the lesson. There are also online homework exercises. You can now link to homework from each lesson. You can find out more about homework in the homework video. Each lesson also contains hotspots linking to starter and deep learning activities. There are warm-up questions at the start of each lesson which are designed to develop mathematical fluency. All questions have been reviewed and updated throughout the second edition to improve progression and pacing. Questions have been tagged to clearly identify whether they are problem-solving, reasoning, reflect or future skills. Split zooms can be used to view larger versions of questions and display or hide their answers. Hints next to questions contain relevant help when students need it. A new feature in the second edition are the foundation and higher crossover bars. These blue bars can be found at the sides of the pages and indicate common content between foundation and higher tiers, so will be really helpful when making tiering decisions. If a student is confidently answering crossover questions in the foundation book, then maybe they will be able to do higher. Or if someone in the higher book is struggling to get beyond the crossover questions, they would be better off with foundation. You will also find hotspots to animations, worked example videos, Graspable math activities. The course will include around 50 Graspable math interactives to accompany a range of topics. Students and teachers can use the interactives to manipulate equations, helping to solve them and to learn and teach techniques for solving them. Key points explain key concepts and definitions. Step-by-step worked examples demonstrate how to answer some of the most common types of questions and demonstrate how to use all the required methods. Exam-style questions are included throughout the books. There are over 1,000 in total. These have been newly updated to exactly match the content and style of the real GCSE exams based on reviewing all the live papers so far. Exam tips point out common errors and help students use good exam technique. Future skills questions are new and are relevant to preparing students for life after GCSE. These are contextual questions that are usually either relevant to a particular type of employment or life skills. This helps meet one of the Ofsted framework requirements on preparing for life beyond GCSE. The overall page design has been updated to be simpler, making it more accessible and more suitable for SEND students. All of the resources, including videos, can be linked to from the page, and also the Active Learn exercise structure and student resources area, making them easy to find and use and to allocate to students. All activities are linked to lessons in the course and labelled with steps to show level of demand. After Master, students take a quick informal check-up test to check how they're doing and decide which topics they need to strengthen or extend. Check-up is split into sections according to topic and always ends with the same reflect question. Were you mostly just guessing, feeling doubtful or confident? This gets students to properly assess how they're doing for each topic. And then a challenge to stretch anyone who's got to the end with time to spare. For topics that students need extra practice and support on, they do the Strengthen section. Strengthen is split up into the same topics as Check-up. Students only do the bits of Strengthen that they struggled with in the Check-up. Questions are more scaffolded than similar questions in master lessons to provide extra support. There are extra hints to assist with some questions, and links to deep learning activities. Students who feel confident with the topics move on to Extend, which gives them an opportunity to apply and develop the maths they learned in the unit in different situations. There are lots of problem-solving, reasoning and exam-style questions. There are also links to deep learning activities and videos. In some higher Extend sections, there are new Working Towards A-Level boxes. These questions take familiar ideas and techniques from the unit and extend them by applying them to the styles of questions that are more typical of AS and A-level exam papers. Students who enjoy tackling these questions might want to consider taking A-level maths. Accompanying boxes explain some of the ways that A-level differs from GCSE. This feature helps meet one of the Ofsted framework requirements around preparing students for future education. The unit ends with the unit test, which gives students another, this time slightly more formal opportunity to check their progress. The unit test consists entirely of exam-style questions with marks assigned. It always ends with a challenge and a reflect question to get students to reflect on their understanding of the unit as a whole. For this edition of GCSE, we have also added a new Test Ready section to be completed in the run-up to the unit test. The idea of this section is to encourage students to learn and revise independently and to develop an awareness of good exam technique. It's an opportunity for students to pause and make sure that they are ready for the unit test. Test Ready is made up of two sections. Students use the summary of key points to identify areas of the unit that need more practice, developing their ability to learn and revise independently. The questions on the sample student answers familiarise students with what constitutes good exam technique. They can then apply this to questions in the unit test.